free agency and trades. Once again, my name is Sam. We got Tim in the house, Marcus Anderson, and Jay Hendo. How you guys doing?
Good. That was
great, man.
So let's kick it off, man. I mean, the Bulls made a lot of moves this offseason so far. You know, they still in the process of making a couple more moves with marketing, but let's start from the top. Okay, the Bulls drafted. And we just talked about this, man. DeSumo. We just talked about this, man. Ayo DeSumo. They drafted him in the second round. Are you guys surprised he fell that far after having a good season with Illinois this past season? Let's start off with. Let's go, Jay Hendo. Let's go with you first.
Hey, I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be like at least the top 15 going to the draft. So he fell that far down. I'm like, whoa. When I saw it because I didn't watch the draft live because I didn't think that nobody was gonna fall down to them, not there. So when I actually saw it, I'm like, whoa, he fell that far. So hey, I was like surprised, man. Saw the season. I thought he was a top 15 pick, and he seemed like a pretty confident kid, man.
Yeah,
nice big point guard.
But Morgan Park, Marcus, what you like the draft pick they got?
I love the draft pick, man. I'm going to reference the current reigning MVP of the National Basketball Association, Nikola Jokic, who was the 11th pick of the second round. For those who don't know, that's the 41st pick in the draft. MVP. I'm not saying that Ayo DeSumo can or will be MVP. I mean, who knows? He can develop, but he's a find that nobody. I mean, he should to go that late and to fall in the Bulls' lap. Great pick. Somebody, and I don't know who it was. And let me be clear: I'm not saying he's going to be this guy. Possibly, potentially, yeah. But somebody made a reference to Dwyane Wade.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Remember Dwyane Wade come out of Marquette and the Bulls wanted him at 5 and somebody snatched him? I think, no, the Bulls wanted him at 5, right, and the Bulls had to go to Kirk Heinrich. But who knows what a player like that can be? He very skilled offensively. He has the body to be a terrific player in the NBA. And he's coming off the bench. So
no pressure.
He doesn't have to be the savior right away.
Right.
He can come in and learn from a terrific scoring guard in Zach LaVine, a terrific 2 and 3 in Demar Derozan, a terrific coach, college coach, turned NBA coach. So I just think that he's in a terrific situation.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to come in and produce right away. We know that he came in, he went to played in the tournament. He had the one bad game. Well, not a bad game. The team didn't play well. They got bounced to Loyola. Loyola just played like the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s. And we saw what this kid could do. So from a draft point, I thought it was a terrific pickup.
That's what's up. What you think, Tim?
Oh, I think it's a great pickup. I think it's one of those, how does Dick Vitale say it? One of those PTP primetime players. For the fall to the Bulls at the 38th pick, I didn't see him maybe going top 15, but I saw him maybe going top 20, top 25, and being a first round pick. Because last year, and you can't not say the kid did not have a good season. He played against some top competition in college basketball. The Big Ten is no slouch. He excelled in that ACC Big Ten tournament. He's a baller. Yes, I've heard the comparisons to Dwyane Wade. I like that. Dwyane Wade was a baller. This kid can create his own shot. He can get his teammates involved. He plays defense. He reminds me of I'm gonna take it back a little bit, but he reminds me of a Kendall Gill, a guy that used to do it all when he was at Illinois and came into the NBA. And a lot of people slept on Kendall Gill. And Kendall Gill had a solid NBA career. If we can get that with a mixture of Dwyane Wade, like I said, that coming off the bench, a lot of teams are going to have to watch out because he's going to make some noise. And I hope that he gets the playing time that, we've seen in the past with, past Bulls coaches where rookies didn't get a lot of playing time. But I'm hoping this kid, and I have that great feeling inside that this kid's going to do something for the Bulls this year. And
well, he's going to get playing time because right now, Kobe White had surgery, so he's not planning on being back until sometime in December.
Yeah,
he had a shoulder surgery, so his time is now. I mean, he's going to get the opportunity to play, even though they got Alex Caruso, which we'll get into that in a few. But I mean, I think he'll get that playing time. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Tim. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. He's definitely going to get his playing time. And I'm just hoping that, not how they did with Patrick Williams, where at the beginning of the season, Patrick Williams was doing his thing. Then all of a sudden, they kind of like took some of that playing time away from him. And I felt he got timid near the end of the season. Like, oh, should I take this shot? Should I drive? I hope they don't do that with him. I hope that when they say, hey, listen, you're going in, you're the second unit, go do you. Go produce, go get us some buckets. And let this kid play. You know what I mean? Let the reins off. Let him go. Let him do what the kid did when he was playing in Illinois. So
yeah,
I like the pick. I think it was a great pick for the Bulls. I think it might be one of those steals of the draft.
Yeah, I think so too. And they also and they just came off the summer league, and they had Ayo and Patrick Williams, and the second round pick from previous year. Marco, he actually came in, actually looked good.
Yeah, he did.
He looks good. He's a backup center as of right now, but I think I saw a couple of games where Patrick Williams was playing, the first 3 games, whatever. He runs that floor like a deer. He runs that floor. He played good defense, set solid screens. So I think we got some, and he's going to get some playing time as well because we short of bigs right now. So if you guys saw Marco play, or I mean, what you think? What kind of impact you think he's going to have with the Bulls this year?
He's better than Christina Feliciano's ass. So
Tim,
that's a plus.
I'm better than Cristiano Feliciano, man.
I'm better than him, and I'm out of shape and overweight with a bad foot.
Right, we're all sitting over here with dad weight on us. We're all better than him.
Hey, I think with watching him in the summer league, I think it's a step in the right direction, and he's one of those kids that we got to come over early. Because usually most of the European kids, they like to stay over there for 5 to 10 years, then come over to the NBA. But I think that he is going to fit the Bulls rotation fine and perfectly because I know they got that guy Tony Bradley, but it gives us another big to come off the bench, and Marco can score. You know what I mean? Like the kid is not, he ain't no slouch, he ain't no, hey, we're just picking up a guy to occupy space. He can move, right. And I think that helps, us out dramatically because not only, you might see him in a role where he could play the 4, you know what I mean, and be that big body that's out at the floor, or, he could play the center and have someone else at the 4. But I think that it's a good thing to see, and he's over here and he's going to learn. I think he's going to help the Bulls out dramatically.
Yeah, I think so too because they actually had, I watched on YouTube, they was talking playing in the EuroLeague and NBA. Do we have the upper hand over everybody else, over the rookies? And Ayo and Patrick Williams said, yeah, because he's been playing since he was 16 in the pros and overseas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he got the upper hand. So he's not coming in as a rookie, but he's coming in as a rookie because he's still been playing with grown guys. And he said we got some NBA players that come over there that they're still trying to get back in the NBA. Just come over there and play. So he know how it's played, how it's ran. Now, the draft is over with. Now the free agency kicked off. And free agency started at 6:00. 6:01. 6:01. They announced the Bulls had got Alonzo Ball. Was it too soon? Was it too soon? Was it too soon? Let's start off with let's go back. Let's start off with you, Tim, and we'll go back over.
Yeah, no. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted Derrick Rose, but I think Derrick Rose used the Bulls as leverage to get more money out of New York. Because they said, because AK came out and said that they did have conversations with Derrick Rose, and we all were hoping that Derrick Rose was going to be the sign right off the bat. And I'm like, all right, but then he goes back with New York, so I think Lonzo Ball was the next logical pick to go after, because we needed a point guard, and I think that they knew going into it that this is the guy we want, because obviously Derrick Rose is playing the game of, well, if I can get money out of you guys, because I heard what I heard is that the Bulls were giving Derrick Rose a nice large sum for a 3-year deal, and he went back to New York, and New York's like, well, we'll give you 43, so. But I like the Lonzo Ball thing. I wasn't too high on Ball, but I think he's the next best point guard besides Derrick Rose that is going to help this Bulls team, because he's a true point guard. He's not just like a point guard that you say because he can dribble and then he scores the scores like the Russell Westbrooks, the Trae Youngs and stuff. This is a guy that actually can go out there and get you 10 to 11, 12 assists a night and still give you 13, 14 points and, play some defense at the same time. And he can rebound. He's got the height to do it. Yeah. And I think that that's what the Bulls have been missing. And I think that he's going to work. I think he's going to work fine with Levine now, because I think it takes a lot off of Levine now, of him always bringing the ball up the court and try to produce shots. Yeah. Now you're just getting Levine in the flow of the game and hit him when he's in motion.
Yeah, I think with the far as Derrick Rose, I think Lonzo Ball was the first option. I think Derrick Rose was the second. If they didn't get when they didn't get Rose, I think that's where they went for Alex Caruso. That's just me. I think Lonzo Ball was the first option, and that's why they got him so quick. I think that deal was in the play, because it was in play after the draft. I mean, not after the draft, after the free agency or whatever. But it didn't work out, so I think they probably knew what they was going to do. You know what I'm saying, at that point. So on that aspect, I just think that Lonzo Ball was the first option, and I think Derrick Rose was going to be the backup. But they took that money that they was going to get. They gave Caruso, and they was going to give it to Rose, but then Rose didn't accept it. They gave it to Caruso. I think that's what probably happened right there. I'm not sure, but that's just my opinion. Let's go, Mark. What you think about the Lonzo Ball pickup?
But real quickly, piggybacking off the Derrick Rose thing, Tim, if New York just barely edged out Derrick Rose, just barely edged out the Bulls to get Derrick Rose. I mean, he just barely edged them out. I probably would have went with the Bulls because it's a better situation. They're probably more ready to win now than what New York is. So I don't know but Derrick Rose knows what's best for Derrick Rose, I guess. Maybe you see him back in the Bulls uniform for his last year.
I don't want to see
a tour, But Lonzo Ball, if the Bulls have a big four, and I won't say big five now because P will, and we'll talk about him a little later. But if the Bulls have a big four, Lonzo Ball is the least of the big four, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that as a compliment to how
deep
much talent we have.
Yeah,
I mean, somebody has to be the best, somebody has to be the least, right? Not bad, but having said that, of course, he's not the best player of the four, but in my opinion, I think he will be the most important. And as it was said earlier, the assist opportunity is going to be like just ridiculous. I mean, you got 3 other scorers on the floor with you at the same time, and all you have to do is pick one. You bring the ball down. You're setting up the offense. You have these options. The point guard is the quarterback on the hardwood. That's what I said, most important player, and he has that skill set. Was he my first pick? No, but he is a good player. And when you have a good player, when you have a good fit, that makes all the difference in the world. When a player can fit into an organization, fit like a puzzle. When you actually in a machine, cogs have to fit. They have to rotate in order for the machine to progress from point 1 to point 2. You have to and I think he's a very important cog. You don't need another shooter. You need a guy that can facilitate, a guy that can pass the ball, a guy that can hit somebody on a leak out or back door. And I think this is what Balls bring to the team. I like the pickup, and chemistry-wise, I like it. And I think we're on the roll, man. I think we're on the move.
and allude to what you just said. I mean, as far as like assists, and both you guys said assists. Now he could come down court and say, okay, we're gonna go down low to Vooch. Assist right there. Okay, let's run the floor. You could give it to DeRozan. You can give it to Patrick Williams. You can give it to Zach LaVine because he already said, I can't wait to throw some alley-oops to Zach LaVine. So he already owns it.
I mean, imagine it's going to be plenty of nights when Vucevic is going to have a mixed match. Just dump the ball down low.
Right.
Or hit Vucevic in the corner. That's another thing. Vucevic is not, you don't have to just drop it down low. You hit him in the corner. He shoot a three. It's going to be so many options, man.
Yeah. What you think, Jonathan? You like to pick up?
You got a floor general now. So you got somebody like a lot of Bulls games I watched last year. You got mismatch that like that guards didn't notice, especially my guy little brain part.
Kobe White.
Kobe White, yeah, him especially. So like you see Kobe White in a lot of fast breaks, 2-on-1. He barely get the ball up. He didn't get the ball up on fast breaks. 2-on-1, 3-on-1. He kind of took it to himself. He had the ball at the top of the key. It'd be mismatch in the post. He just not getting the ball up. We got a floor general to recognize a mismatch. We got a floor general down that 3-1 fast break. We'll give it up and we'll throw up that lob that will bring the fans to their feet. You got somebody that bring excitement and smartness, and not only that, Ball is like he's a big point guard. He's about 6'6" point guard. She has 6'6" point guard.
With
vision. He got a backcourt that's big, and he got vision, and he's a lone defender. You got now. You don't have Kobe White, who was defensive liability because he gave up a lot of points. He can score, but he gave up a lot of points as well. But you got a point guard, and Ball will probably get like 15 points a game. You know, a decent score. But the thing is, he's going to give you about the 8 to 12 assist range because he's going to see the floor. And he's going to do things that the Bulls ain't never had in.
Never.
Man, well,
at point guard. Because even Rose, he was a point guard, but he wasn't like a facilitator as far as like he was
25 and 8. He was good enough.
Yeah, he was good enough, but I mean, he when you saw Rose, you didn't think of him throwing assists, like being, you know, he was the guy, he was the man.
He wasn't a floor general. Like so Ball's a floor general. He's gonna come up the court, and now Zach can run those lanes on those fast breaks. Zach ain't got to be the one the ball bring up the court and trying to score on his own because he's not getting it up. Now you got Ball. You got Zach. Yeah, Pete will run the floor. You got athleticism because you got finishers.
DeRozan.
We have never had DeRozan. You had never had these weapons you got right now. You got young talent, and you got Vooch that can spread the floor because he don't have to go in the paint like Mark said, post up all the time. He can actually go to the top of the key, the corner. He's a shooter. You can play a pick and roll off him now. Man, the pick. I don't know what the sports writers see. They all need to be goddamn fired for all the man. Get me started, man. I'd be on a rant. They goddamn sport writers.
The whole thing, and then when they got him, and I was excited that they got him because I figured, I thought when they got Ball, I thought Rose was next. I was like, man, here you go. Then when they said Rose side with New York, I was like, what the f- is going on? You know what I'm saying? But no, actually, I thought they had got Alex Caruso. Then they got. Then I saw Derrick Rose went to New York. I said, well, I wonder what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I was ready to get a Derrick Rose shirt. And I don't want no guy on the back of my back. I was going to get a Derrick Rose shirt. You know what I'm saying? I told Marcus I was going to get one. You know, but the next big pickup they did was, it wasn't big, but Alex Caruso. We're going to go, when they got him, I'm not an LA guy. I think, one of y'all, you're an LA fan, Marcus. I mean, did you actually, well, I don't know if you was an LA fan when LeBron James came over, but what you think about the Alex Caruso pickup?
Hey man, I like the Lakers. I mean, everybody has that alternative team. Whenever you could pick up a solid guy, what are you gonna say? I don't like that. You gotta like it because whenever you can deepen your bench, I'm gonna say this, and y'all gonna look at me like what? We've been Bulls fans all our life. Offensively, we've never had a team like this. I'm going to say that again.
Yeah.
Offensively, we've never had a team like this.
Nah, you're right.
I'm talking about on a roster 1 through 12. Look at our starting five. Now, people are going to misconstrue this. Oh, they ain't better than the Jordan Bulls. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, look at the starting five. Look at the scoring prowess that we had. You look at the Jordan team, it was Jordan and Pippen. We had key guys off the bench that knew they role. But look at this starting five. We've never had this much offensive talent as a collection.
Yeah.
Or collectively. We've never had it. So to add Caruso to that, let's not forget about Kobe White when he comes back. From a 1 through 12, we have never been this offensively equipped or talented. Yeah, we had Jordan, 10-talent mega bomb, but that's not what I'm talking about. Well, they're better than one. Somebody's better than Jordan. I'm not saying that. Look at our starting five versus any of those starting five. On a points per night, we should easily be putting up at least 112 to 115 per night.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
So I love that Caruso pickup. I think as a backup, he can give us 10 to 12 points a night because you're going to see time. He'll eventually see time with Kobe White. They'll share time, and they're going to have to figure it out chemistry-wise. And that's going to be another part of his process of learning the Bulls offense, and because you're playing with different guys. So 10 to 12 points, perfect. That's perfect. It won't overdo it. It locks him in. We talked about that fit. It's perfect.
And he's there for defensive purpose too, because they say he's a what they call that a lockdown defensive player, like with up in your face, like you bring the ball out, he's right there. Like,
oh yeah, you saw it when they played against Phoenix. He was bumping Chris Paul over the place, and he wasn't too afraid to step up on Devin Booker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So he's given the Bulls what they missed, that defensive prowess. Because we all saw the Bulls last year, and we're like, Jesus Christ, who's playing defense tonight? Right. Nobody.
Right.
You know, and the thing he brings to that is he brings that toughness that is going to help the Bulls as a veteran to say, hey, listen, get up on the guy, give him a little pressure, let him know you're there, because it makes the game that much harder for him to score.
Yeah.
And I think that him, and not even that, I think they brought back Tony Brown Jr. too. He showed flashes of defense. And I think with what that bringing to the team, and it's going to teach Kobe White how to play defense too, to say, hey, listen, I know you can drop 25 and not a problem, but listen, you got to stop that other guy from dropping 25. You know, you can stop him and hold him to 15. So I like the Alex Caruso pickup because it gives the Bulls that toughness and that defensive prowess that they need coming off the bench.
Right, and I think he's going to fit in, because first of all, I saw why because I was so into getting Derrick Rose, but then once I was looking at the highlights, and a lot of people from LA was complaining that they should have kept him instead of the Lakers picking up Carmelo Anthony and the rest of those guys or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But Jonathan, Caruso, what's your thoughts about him?
And that's a good pickup. I watched a lot of Lakers games, and that dude was like, who I compare him to, like he's like one of those, like he's like a little fly all in your face all the time. You want to get him away back off. So, but he hustles, man. He's one of those key components of that Lakers team. People want to believe it or not, especially here in LeBron. But one thing I'll say though, with him and the rookie we talking about, Ayo, ain't gonna be no room for Kobe White when he returned. That might be good trade bait to get you a big man. So that's what's gonna happen with that. Cause you think about it, they got too many. They got like guards. It ain't no room. You got a young player. You got the point guard that just signed Caruso. So what did they leave Kobe White? You use trade bait to get a nice power forward over there.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing when they picked up Ayo. Especially when he had this Kobe White had the surgery, you giving this guy opportunity to play, and if he shined in that opportunity, yeah, I mean, I like Kobe White, but he could bring you back something good. Because especially, we're going to get into a little bit of them being the tampering thing as well, because that's going to play a part of what's going on too. But let's hit the grand finale with the free agency. Demar Derozan. Bulls picked up him. I was talking about him during the season, but I didn't think it was going to happen or whatever as far as like free agency. I thought they was going to try to make a trade for him with marketing and whatnot, but that didn't happen. So they pick up Demar Derozan, who played with Toronto, had a good year with Toronto, and actually elevated his game to me even better and with the Spurs, because he started throwing assists, he started facilitating as well. He's not a three-point shooter, but he's a good inside that three-point line, the 15-footer. He's going to kill you there. and he gets to the line, and he definitely gets to the line a lot, and that's what the Bulls is having trouble with. They say I think he was averaging getting to the free throw line 7 times a game, so that's actually good. And the Bulls actually average that as a team, you know what I'm saying? So for him to come in and do that, that's going to be huge for the Bulls. Picking up DeMar DeRozan, let's start back with you, Jonathan. We'll go work our way down. Picking up DeMar DeRozan, what you see was how you fit with the Bulls.
DeMar DeRozan, man. Hey, you got a 1-2 punch with him and Zach LaVine. We didn't even talk about Booch. We talking about them two on the wing. You got both players that can create. They can take the attention away from each other. Stat-wise, that point should increase for both guys. You got DeMar DeRozan in his prime. He's 30, 31 years old. I don't know what the hell are sports anchors. First of all, what's the guy that like LeBron James so much? Light-skinned guy. Broussard?
Yeah, Chris Broussard. Yeah.
Chris Broussard kiss ass. I know this is a sports show. Kiss ass. I don't like it when you rank my Bulls so they barely win a game, and people got them ranked like the 10th seed in the East. That is ridiculous. Like, the Bulls team, like, I can't remember how many games they won last year. Y'all know right off the top how many games they won?
Like 31.
31, something like that,
yeah.
So 31 games. They add these players, and you mean to tell me these players, and you got to think about it. Zach LaVine didn't play towards the end of the season. They practically won 35, 36 games. But you mean to tell me you add these players, and as DeMar DeRozan, the Bulls not going to win at least 45, I'll say for 46, 50 games next year? You mean to tell me they can't win 11 more games? Because they lost out the close games last year. With a full season of DeMar DeRozan, Zach, and you got Booch, and all of you mean to tell they can't win 50 games? Like, DeMar DeRozan is a vet in the playoffs.
Well, I see. Wait. Before you go any further, I see all three of y'all said 50 games, so that's a good thing. Go ahead.
Hey, really 50 games. You got DeMar DeRozan, man. You got talent, man. I don't know what the first sports analysts. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them, man. I don't know, man. I got frustrated. I read an article today that said the Bulls are finished 10th in the East, and I wish that it was on Twitter. I get banned on Twitter a lot because they say dumb shit like that. I always say go kill yourself, and I get banned, and my Twitter account be locked for like they lock my Twitter account for like a whole week. But man, like I don't see it. Like you got a 1-2 punch, and you got athletes. You got a young athlete in Zach LaVine that can score and get you about 30 a night. You got DeMar DeRozan that gets you 25, and like Marcus said, we ain't talking about Booch. Like these are good pickups, and and Ball, the facilitator. Man, come on, man. These sports writers go, man.
And that's not even and we ain't even really talked about Patrick Williams. But go ahead, Marcus.
We'll get to him. Yeah. Because now you're giving me hype.
DeMar DeRozan, what you think about that pickup?
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off all y'all, man, to start, like you said, Jonathan, 32 years old, prime. Career 20.1 points per game. Perfect. What's not to like about this pickup? But I think you said it the best. Get to the line 7 points per game, but even more so, the perimeter game. In today's game where almost everything is behind the 3-point line.
Right.
You got a guy in DeMar DeRozan. Like, this is like his game. It's almost like Kawhi Leonard-esque. Like, all I need to do is beat you and just pull up and get a 12-foot, 15-foot jump shot. And I'm actually good at that. In the NBA, all you have to do is be great at one thing. This is what DeMar DeRozan does. This speaks to going back to the cogs in the machine. Cogs and machines serve different functions, but they perform in concert for the machine to do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
And you got a three-point shooter, three-point shooting stretch guy in Vucevic. You got a guy in Zach LaVine. Now we need a guy who can shoot the perimeter shot. You got him in DeMar DeRozan. And you don't need him to be a 30-point guy. You need him to be a 20-point savvy veteran. And not to mention, he should be playing with a chip on the shoulder because he didn't get the championship in Toronto.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm 32 years old, and my window is about to start closing. So I'm going to go with some other killers and try to make this happen. So with that mentality, he should want to fit in nicely in the locker room, chemistry-wise, make everything easy for himself. I think it was a heck of a pickup, man. I mean, we got 3 guys averaging 20 points per game career-wise.
Yeah.
Well, Zach is not career-wise yet. But last two seasons, 25 plus. Come on, man. It's tailor-made for success.
Yeah.
Right there.
What you think about Tim, Demar Derozan, the nice pickup for you?
Oh, and by far a nice pickup because that gives you the small forward you were looking for. Because you know Zach's going to play the 2 and he's going to be the main guy, the main shooter. But now you get a 3 in there where we're not sitting here thinking we got to put so here, so and so there, so and so there. We start off the bat with Demar Derozan, and like Marcus and Hendo said, you're getting a guy who scored 20 points a game and throughout his career, and he's in his prime. So guess what? He's that savvy veteran that you put on a team like, I hate to say it, but I'm going to use the Miami Heat. He's the Ray Allen of that team. He's the guy that, you're going to look at Zach, you're going to look at Vooch, and you're going to look at Lonzo Ball, and you're going to forget about DeMar DeRozan. And right. DeMar DeRozan is the guy that can hit that 12-foot, 13-foot jumper. That's a guy that's going to get you the points because there's many times we watched his Bulls games last year as Bulls fans where we're wondering, why the hell this guy shoot a 3? Why are they shooting so many threes? Why are they doing this? DeMar DeRozan is going to be that guy that we don't have to worry about that. He's going to back a guy down. He's going to take that turnaround jumper. He's going to hit the free throws. And then not even that, he's going to pass the ball to a wide open player if he's double teamed because he's got court vision. And that's going to take – we haven't had a small forward since Scottie Pippen. And I like DeMar DeRozan. He's smart. He's savvy. He knows to play the game. He's playoff battled. And listen, he spent, a year, 2 years under Popovich? Yeah. You bring that over to this team as well. And Zach LaVine played under Popovich for Team USA. Yeah. So he knows now you're putting that brain power together and you're going to make a team. And we haven't even, talked about, like you said, we're going to talk about him soon, Patrick Williams. But also the rumor going around is LaMarcus Aldridge may want to come to Chicago if he's coming back to the NBA. And if you could pick up LaMarcus Aldridge, I don't say he's not starting. But guess what? There's your power forward coming off the bench that you can post up and put down low, and the man can make buckets.
Right. Definitely. I mean, I thought it was when they picked him up, I was excited that they picked him up. And like you said, I mean, the last good power forward, small forward we had was Scottie Pippen. Butler was a small forward, but he transitioned to a shooting guard. So I think the Rose will pick up by him. Like I said, he could actually post up too. So it's not that he just got one thing in his game.
And he's great going to the basket. We forgot that.
Right, he's a good finisher. You know what I'm saying? A hell of a finisher. So you got 2 people that – and let's talk about Patrick Williams now, because we got people that can actually finish at the rim. And you got that, and you got a point guard too that could give them the ball. Patrick Williams in the summer league killing. He still has some ball handling issues or whatever, but that ball handling issue is not really an issue because we don't have to worry about him doing that in the season because you got you a point guard, and he's playing a power forward position now, so he's not going to be doing too much of the dribbling and stuff like that. So I think he was averaging maybe 3 turnovers a game in summer league. Got to worry about that because you got you a point guard. You got 2 point guards. You know what I'm saying? So Patrick Williams looked real good in the summer league, man, and it was one game he had, and it was a close game, and he was asking for the ball, give it to me down low, killing down low. And then last play of the game, what's the guy they picked up last year, 2nd round pick, point guard? It's not with a D. Dotson. Dotson came down, broke the defense down, passed it off to Patrick Williams, and jammed it. Game over. Like Marcus said, he's going to be a big factor, a sleeper. If he averages that 15 and 10 or 15 and 8 for a power forward, and if they get Aldridge, he's only going to help Patrick Williams. So, what you guys think, Patrick? What he got to bring to the table this year, Patrick Williams, to actually put the Bulls over the hump? Because I think he's going to be the key to put them over the hump. Because you got to defend against your LeBrons, your Greek Freak and your KD and stuff like that. And he actually went to the Olympics too to play with those guys in the Olympics. So he got a taste of that playing against the great. So I don't know who want to start. If I talk about Patrick Williams first, who want to go first?
I'll weigh in.
Go ahead, man. Yep.
I got the Bulls at 55 wins. I know that's a little optimistic. It's a little presumptuous, like, pump the brakes. So I get it. But the reason I'm saying I got them at 55 wins is because of Patrick Williams. Not because Patrick Williams is going to go out and score 30 this season. But I need Patrick Williams to go from 9 points to 15 points per game. He is my X factor for this team. If he does that, you consider everything that we just talked. You just went down the line of all the acquisitions we picked up, and we talked about what they bring to the table. DeRozan with the perimeter game, Vucevic with the stretch, Ball can assist. I'm gonna say something else real crazy. Y'all about to look at me like I'm stupid, like you don't know what you're talking about. And I've maintained this. I actually think that Patrick Williams will still be the best player on this team at some point if he stays developing. And that's saying a lot because Zach LaVine is a heck of a skilled offensive player. Vucevic, heck of a skilled offensive player. Demar Derozan, heck of a skilled offensive player. I just think that Patrick Williams is going to have it all. And this guy, he has the body of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
He has the hand. He's actually bigger than Kawhi Leonard. But if he continues to develop, and I think that he should make a 4 or 5 point jump, go to 15 points a game, 14 and a half, 15 points per game. By year 3, year 4, you should see him rise incrementally, 18 points, 19, 23 points. Then it should be like a 25 point, 12 rebound player if he continues on the trend. So ultimately, I think he'll be the best player out of this 4. And that's saying a lot because we got a heck of a squad.
19 years old.
Together. But Patrick Williams, man, is my X factor. If he stays on, and I know he's, like you said, he's playing well in summer league ball. He's playing with other guys on that level, but you're supposed to dominate them. So I don't want to hear the people saying, yeah, but that's summer league. You're supposed to dominate summer league if you're going to be a good player.
19 years old.
That's the progression. You dominate the summer league, just like baseball. You go to AAA, you go to A, AA, AAA. You dominate those, then you go to the major leagues. Right. This is what you do when you're projected to be great. So you don't apologize for dominating the guys in summer league. You do what you're supposed to do. And I think Patrick Williams is the X factor, man. 15 points a game, 55 wins this year for the Bulls.
But I tell you that about Patrick Williams. Else you got to think about also. Last year when he came in the league, there was no summer league. You know what I'm saying? So now he's getting acclimated to. He went acclimated from the Olympic team, practicing with them, to the summer league.
Good point.
And he also said, I saw on YouTube, he was saying that him and Donovan went to the Milwaukee game. He said the atmosphere. He was like, man, I looked at that and I got the chill. He said, I figured like we got to be here. We got to be here. So that motivation right there with Billy Donovan took him to the game, get him that atmosphere feel. Yep. And if Milwaukee was rocking, imagine what the Bulls fans would be doing if they win it. Jonathan, let's go ahead with Patrick Williams. What you think about what you got expected from him this year?
Man, with all the scoring we got, I wanted he's gonna average double, and I think it's probably gonna be around the 4 to 10 just because of all the scoring we got. I think he'll have some nights where he put up 18, 20 points on some nights, but I think probably at the modest about 10 and 10, 12 and 10. Hey, he's I think he's gifted. I actually agree with Marcus. I can see him be the best player eventually, and that's why. And again, when you got a player like that, man, along with other talent, how the hell did these sports announcers think that the Bulls will win at 35-36 game? Chris Broussard, you're horrible. You shouldn't be. I don't know if you played basketball a day in your life, man, but I don't know. Like, dude, this is crazy that you can see this talent and say 35 wins, and then you put I think Charlotte's in front of him. I think he put like, dude, I'm so you got Patrick Williams up and coming. Patrick Williams, dude. When you think about Patrick Williams, you know he's gonna be good. The thing is, he could be great this year. He gets that point this year where you're like, oh damn, what team's gonna do? If Patrick Williams wasn't projected to be here, but he's up here, and you still got Zach LaVine, all these other guys. What do you do? So it's like. I think 12 and 10, but I also think there's gonna be some nights where Patrick Williams may be the best player on the floor. So, Chris Broussard, go to hell.
And like I said, I think ball is actually going to help his game elevate to the extreme because now you got a true point guard. What you think, Tim?
Well, I agree with Marcus and I agree with Hendo. I think eventually Patrick Williams is going to be the best player on this team. We saw bits and pieces of this last year in the first couple of games of the season. When we saw this kid come out and break out, and we're like, "Oh shit! Like, what do we got here? Okay, we got us a ball player." And then they put the reins on him and kind of slowed him down at times. But I think finally, with being in that starting five, he is the X factor because teams again are going to worry about Levine and DeRozan and Vujic and a little bit about Lonzo Ball. I think this sets up perfectly for him because not only can he stretch the floor and shoot from the outside, he's capable of producing his own shot. He can post up with the best of them, and he's not afraid to play defense. Yeah. He's going to lock up. He's going to go out and take the challenge of locking up the best guys. But now he doesn't have that where he's got to do it himself. He's got DeMar DeRozan that's going to help him lock up the best guys and teach him another thing. So he's getting the tutelage. And I think that Donovan, we all downplayed Donovan last year for kind of like, why isn't he taking those shots? Why isn't he doing this? I think Donovan finally takes the leash off this year and says, hey, go out and do what you can do. What you did at Florida State, I need you to do here. So I think that a 14-10 night is going to be where he's going to be around. But I think there's going to be certain games where he goes off for 20 or 30 points because he's got a guy who can't guard him, and he's just going to take advantage of that situation because we all know, look when you watch the New Jersey Nets, a lot of guys were double teaming the Kyrie Irvings, the KDs, the James Harden, and they still were taking shots, ball hogging it. But now I think you got a collective group of 5 guys that can put those points on the board. That ball is going to be distributed around. Yeah. And I think that you're going to eventually find openings. Patrick Williams down low, Vujic in the corner. You got two of some of the best slashers in Levine and DeRozan, and you put that point guard there that's going to get him the ball. I agree. Chris Broussard can go sit on a fucking hot piece of coal and whatever Twizzler's ass. I don't care, because I just don't get how they sit these guys watch basketball. First off, get LeBron James' dick out of your face and open your eyes to the game of basketball. But, because this team they did 31 wins last year. And like you said, there was a ton of games that Zach LaVine missed. That's easily 5 or 6 victories right there because those were some games that we could have won that we were not that far out of. There's a couple of games Vujic didn't play. So again, you're missing pieces here and there. But now you have to the point of, say if LaVine does sit out a couple of games, you still got 4 guys in your starting rotation. They're going to put up the points to help this team out, let alone what you have on the bench. Yeah. And I think that you put that all together. You got a 1 through 12 right now that Marcus has brought up that this is probably the most potent offensive Bulls team we've ever seen in the history of the Chicago Bulls. And we're not disrespecting the Jordan era because that was a certain era. But you got 1 through 12, and that including guys that come off the bench that can give you 10 points plus a game. Because I don't think there's anybody on that roster right now where you can look at and be like, yeah, he may give us 6 fouls and 1 rebound, but that's about it, But there's nothing. You have guys now that are going to play a key role. And if you do add a LaMarcus Aldridge, that 115 goes up now to about a 125, 126. Yeah. And so hey, New Jersey, you could score. We get LaMarcus Aldridge, we can score with you. And we're going to have some defenders on the team too.
I want to go back to the thing Marcus said, the chip on their shoulders. And I think all of them guys from AO, chip on the shoulder for going so far in the draft. DeMar DeRozan, like Marcus said, didn't win the championship, so he's kind of hungry for that. Lonzo Ball, being on the Lakers and the Pelicans, he wasn't able to play his game in either one of those cities. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be able to play. So he played with a chip on his shoulder. And Zach LaVine, chip on his shoulder on the simple fact that he's never been to the playoff. So, and everybody got a chip on his shoulder because these sports writers are saying that they're going to win like 41 games.
Listen,
crazy.
Listen, we got one more big factor in the Chicago Bulls that Jay Hendo's been saying himself that he would like to say as the sports broadcasters is we got Lamar's dad, we got Ball's dad. Let him tell him. Because he's going to tell him straight up,
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I mean, that being said, I mean, like I said, I'm looking for a big season. You guys, I think mostly said, I think one of you said 54, somebody said 51, somebody said 53. I'm more on the 50, on that 50. I'm on that 48, 50. Because my thing is, their first, I had to think, okay, the first couple of games, the toughest series going to be like in November. The first game is going to be against Detroit.